How's it going, shipheads? Welcome back to Trek Mods. You know who I am, Jody LaForgery, the cheap engineer around these parts. I've got my little bridge module here that I've been working on, and I've gone ahead and drilled out those little yellow lights just a tiny bit bigger. Went one size up, so that's probably about 1/4 of a millimeter. It's less than half. It's just a little larger. They weren't very visible. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to carve out little indentations around this. It's too small. You won't even notice. So I'll just maybe paint some black bars or something, a decal or something like that. Before I get going though, quick shout out to Trenton Bennett, who pointed out to me that number 45 is the decal for that spot on the Reliant. It's going to be this way though. I didn't actually throw out the instructions. I still have them, but I just haven't looked at it yet, and then now I don't have to. So thanks, Trent, for pointing that out to me. Although it doesn't show this as being a red ring on the models I looked at. It's red around here. It usually is. We have one here, but that's likely for somewhere else. I might just put some red paint in there, wipe it out. This is inset and this is cut, so it's not just a little channel. It's not just a little circle. There's an actual channel there that the red can go into. I should be able to get a very nice thin red ring around that. And then I got my little decal for the back piece. So I'm gonna get building on that. I've got a little clear dome for the bridge dome, which I've begun to scrape the top down flat, and I'm going to be putting an opaque cap on there. And this won't be clear. I'm going to frost it. So let's roll that beautiful starship footage and we'll get crafting. Couple little circles cut out here, so I'm just gonna glue. Okay, I'm just gonna drip a drip of glue on the inside. I'll drop on top. So it's looking like a little Lego piece almost. So I'm just gonna smooth that down a little bit, get it a little bit more domey. Domey. That's not too bad. Okay, here's my bridge. La module de bridge. Well, that ended up a little too large, and now it won't fit in there properly. That's a shame. How am I going to correct that? Let's see. I can make a circle within a circle. Okay, fixed it. Okay, I just want to try to get as close as I can to the center. Hey. Alrighty, guys, I was just reviewing what I recorded yesterday, and I noticed I didn't zoom back out again, so I missed a lot of the stuff I was trying to get on camera there yesterday. That's okay. I didn't really go too much further than that. So I'm just in the process of carving this out to the proper size I need. I'm just using this. Go slow so it doesn't melt. Alright, let's see if I got it back up where I want it to. Okay, so I gotta go. So I gotta get rid of most of this ring here that I added. I'm gonna switch to a different tool. Looks like I forgot to put the lid on my glue last night. That's why I buy the cheap stuff. That's why I buy the cheap stuff. Otherwise, I'd just be throwing out expensive modeling glue. Alright, so I got one of the end pieces here out of one of these cheap files. I used it on some glue before, it worked pretty good. Fits in the Dremel Micro here. Just trying. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna relocate where my microphone is. Maybe we'll get a better had it sort of sitting right where I'm using the tool there. Tool. Okay, now maybe I can still talk and do this at the same time. Okay, so I need to get rid of most of this. You know, I just might remove this long needle one here and I might just remove it from here and try doing windows. It's worth a shot. Give it a try. Okay, let's see how much of this fits up through here now. Still not enough. Okay, let's see. So doing it with that bit sort of created this little lip here, but I think it's so thin it's mostly just going to come off. Okay, let's see how it fits. Oh, okay. Very tight, but not too tight that I can't move it. So now I can set this at whatever height I wish. So I want to rotate that a little. Looks like I didn't perfectly position that gray flat disc. So I'm just going to try to rotate this around so that's facing forward, just like that. You can see it pretty much fits in perfectly. Now it's just a matter of me aligning it straight so I can have that protruding up a little bit. Kind of reminds me of the original Constitution there from the cage with the big tall bridge dome. That's kind of cool. And we'll have a light. Where's my little light? A little hard to visualize before it's light blocked. On camera it looks like just the entire thing is glowing. Let's see if I can find some settings here. There we go, that's a little better. So we can see we're going to have our 9 yellow lights there. And we'll have a glowing bridge dome. I like the bridge dome glowing, lit up. I just like that look. So it's going to be glowing, positively glowing. Okay, so there we go. Got my bridge dome. It's gonna go right there. And that gives me enough room to possibly have a light pointing down on the registry. I know that that's a problem for some of these kits to have a light pointing down just because of the way this bridge module is made. Well, in the big 1350 Enterprise kits anyways, I've seen a lot of builders where they have to relocate that bridge or raise it up to allow for a light to shine down through onto that registry. I might even cheat and just have one maybe right here shining down on the registry. Not gonna go for that Raytheon effect. I'm not crazy about that. If you mask off and then sand the edges so it sort of blends, you get a better effect. But I don't think I'm skilled enough yet to pull that off. So I'm just going to use this. It's going to be not as bright. It's going to have some paint in there. It's going to dull it down a little bit. And also the light's not going to be right in there either. It's going to be a bit of a ways away. So it'll be something more like that. All right, let's move on to the next step. if I can figure out what my next step should be. Okay, one thing I know that I have to do is take care of these nacelles here. This has to be cut away. I'm going to cut this wall out of here too. There's no point in having that because I'm going to use one of those noodle LEDs there like I did with the XII. So it's gonna just be right in the middle. I want both sides of the nacelle lit up. I like that look. More lights, more happy. Chiller grills they give you aren't great. You can see there's a blob of plastic in there. You can see the brackets through it. Grill lines aren't very detailed. Just not happy with it. I'm gonna make my own. So I'm gonna grab the old sonic knife. A little bit of melted plastic on it here. Just gonna sand that off. I don't think I'm ready to change the blade yet. I can clean it up and sharpen it. A little bit of that sandpaper to clean it off. Put a bit of silicone oil on there. It's obviously not turned on right now. I wouldn't want to accidentally press the button while I'm trying to do this. Jesus Christ. Alright, I just got a phone call from one of my dad's doctors. And they said they've been trying to reach him, but the number's not in service because they wanted to do a follow-up appointment. And I said, a little bit late for your follow-up appointment because he died 2 years ago. You guys are a little bit late, so yeah, that's what we get here in good old Kanakistan. All right. Okay, so I want to cut this right out of here. I think I'll use my little cradle here just for stability's sake. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go right down just the inside groove here. Okay, leaving a little bit so I can file it nice and smooth. What's making it stop? So strange. Sometimes it just stops cutting. As if you let go of the button. I don't know if anybody else with this tool has had that problem. If you're watching and you have one of these, let me know. Does it sometimes just quit cutting? over the edge there. Kind of just melt it over. I can probably just push it back with this. Sort of just rolled it back over. I can file it smooth. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, looks a little bit ragged, but that's okay. There's lots of material left around the perimeter. I'll be able to just file it away nice. Alright, same thing here. I'll have to test this on a hot dog or a piece of steak or something, just to see what would happen if I slipped. Because if it doesn't cut into soft things like material and foam, maybe it'll just be like a regular X-Acto knife on my delicate finger meats. And those are no match for my finger meats. But if you got down to the level of the bone, that's a different story. The last thing you want to do is vibrate your bone. Okay, I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to file it out. Try to get it all nice and clean. Okay, there's all Thar. Get to filing. This one's got a little bit still there that I can take away. Quick little tool tip: when you're using a round file on a straight surface, don't leave your file in one place. Always try to move it back and forth as you're filing up and down. That way you won't get a divot in one spot. See, I only need the roundness for in here, but I'm still trying to file in a circular pattern so that I don't end up getting a gouge where I don't want one. And once I'm past that part, I can switch to the flat file. Alright, now I got the flat one. Just gonna go at it like this. Thing that didn't land on my toes. That just came an inch away from landing on my foot. I put that in the drawer. Away you go. Okay, as always, I got too much junk on my desk. Here it is. Still got a bit of a line there. I just want to get rid of that step. Why don't you go get a drink or something? Go get a snack while I'm doing this. That looks pretty good. Alright, 3 more of those to do, and I will check back with you. I am such a lucky man. Look what my wife just gave me. She ordered these last night. We saw Todd using them on the stream there, and they're affordable, so I got some. Oh, I can't wait to try them. Wow, wow, wow. That looks great. Thanks for the tip on those, Todd. Those are gonna be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just like my wife. Awesome. Alright, I'll just file that over there, and I'll file this right here. Looks like I got a bit of a chunk there. I'm just gonna gotta turn it on. Alrighty. We got 4 nice clean nacelles. I cleaned out all my nacelle holes. Time to make some chiller grills. Just gonna put those over to the side for now. Alright, got the old plastic picture. Oh, sorry about that, Mike. It's my buddy Mike there. I bopped him in the ear. Because it's Mike. And you're just an ear. Oh, give it a rest. Okay, well, looks like I'm taking a break, and I'll be back. Okay, so I just numbered them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because although they're pretty close, they're not going to be all identical. I want to make sure that I get a nice straight line, because I don't want my chiller grill lines to be diagonal or anything like that. So I can kind of see the ridges on here a little bit. Just gonna line my ruler up with one. Looks like I got it pretty straight. Number 3. Okay, that one's not gonna be. I think I'll have to take a different approach to this. Let's see, we'll cut this piece right off. Guys, makes it easier to work with. Maybe I'll have to actually use the lines. Okay, that looks like it's gonna be pretty straight. All right, let's try that. Start with this cut. I'll go about 1/2 millimeter outside the line. Do my best to get rid of this little bit right here. Alright, it's a little bigger than it needs to be. That's good news, because it means I didn't make it too small. I'm using my scissors because I want a nice hard smooth edge. I don't want it melted. The Sonic Saber tends to melt things sometimes, and you get that flipped over edge and it ends up being too small. Okay, so when I put that in, I want it to be slightly inset. I don't want it to be right at the outside edge. I want it to be pretty much where the other one was or would have been. That's not bad. Come on. All right, so I can see my So I repositioned my camera so that I can see my screen a little bit, and now I can see how terrible it is. Just doesn't want to focus on the right thing. Okay, well, you can see I still got the picture in there, so I gotta scrape that off. That's what's great about this thing. It has such a hard, flat surface that it actually can get right down to this. If I was to put this down on the table and go at it with sandpaper, it'd take me forever. But this here works good. Plus, it's meant for filing brass and steel frets, so the sandpaper is very resilient. And it doesn't wear out quickly, so it'll last a very long time. Alright, to quote Zephyr Cochrane, that'll do, pig. That'll do. And that'll do for this episode as well. This has been part 12 of the Miranda Hornet refit project. So here's what I got done in this one. I got some chiller grills made. 4 nice little chiller grills there. Got those nacelle sides cut out. Got my little bridge dome here with the exaggerated dome. We got the docking port, and we got those yellow lights. So I got that done. Next episode, I think I'll tackle this piece. Got to get this under pod module piece worked on. Put in the arboretum window. We'll put the deflector dish in. This will be shuttle bay area or something, or a cargo hold. This will be probably a weapons platform, torpedo launcher, something like that. Maybe phaser cannons or phaser turrets like we got on the... I could do something like that. Something like the little phaser turrets. Wouldn't be a difficult addition. Just a little dot, a little bump with the square. So I've been trying to figure out where to use the actual photon torpedo launching unit that is part of this, but it didn't even come with the detail. There's no detail piece for that either side. I'm assuming it would have been a clear part because I got the wrong clear parts, because there's no white part on the sprue that fits in here. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I was thinking of splitting it, putting it on either side of this. Maybe so we got something like this around either side, but it's a little small. If this was bigger, it would kind of fit right around this like a sleeve, and I could be able to just have that on there like that, slip right over, but we can't do that. It's too small. Fits right in there. So don't even know if I'm going to use this. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. As always, keep on trekking. I'm your cheap engineer, Jody LaForgery, and you've been watching Track Mods.